Awkward
Welcome.
silence.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure the music was playing. It just happened to pick the one that fades in. Welcome to. Oh, dang it! I also realized I've been forgetting to do the stupid voices at the beginning of the episodes the past couple. Um,
Haha.
I was thinking about that earlier, but oh well, it's too late now. We already had a different stupid intro. Welcome back to Stupidiots. My name's Jesse. This is Whitney.
Hey.
And today, or last week rather, we were talking about our favorite Greek gods and goddesses, and to which Whitney won, so she decided to pick a sort of sequel episode where we talk about our favorite individual Greek myths themselves. Which, fittingly enough for this topic, yesterday I was out shopping at Kroger, grabbing a few quick groceries, and I found another one of those limited Coke flavors.
I've seen that too this morning.
Coca-Cola Ultimate, the League of Legends flavor. Is quote.
Have you tried it yet?
I'm trying it right now. It is plus XP flavored. I was like, this will fit for the episode tomorrow when we go to record, so I grabbed it. It's been sitting in the fridge. It's like all bronze on the art and everything. It tastes. I don't know how to describe that taste. It tastes familiar. It tastes like something, and I can't pinpoint what it is. But it's very refreshing. It's not my favorite flavor, but it's a very refreshing one though. Like if you're really hot, it'd be one that'd be like very refreshing to drink whenever you're like hot and need something cold.
I don't think I'm gonna buy it then.
Yeah, I just bought one bottle, and it doesn't taste bad, but I would definitely rather try like one of the fruitier ones. It's definitely not a sweeter Coke flavor. But all that being said, here's to hoping we get a tie this episode. Still waiting on that to happen.
We've actually upped the ante this time, I believe, because we added some new things to happen during the tie episodes.
Yeah,
so it's gonna be even better.
We'll announce those once we get a tie. Like, part of me is considered, like, I'm not gonna do it, but I consider just straight up, like, lying to get a tie on something. Just because I want it that bad. I want it to be real. Like, but yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I was thinking the same damn thing. I'm like, I just really want this to happen at this point.
Because I like, as much as I want to do the holiday episode, I've been saying, I really want to do our tie option. It's been most of the series by this point. It's been us building up what a tie is going to be, and we haven't been able to fucking talk about it.
I know.
I'm gonna go ahead and call heads for Alexa. Flip a coin.
Okay.
For a coin toss.
You got heads.
Alright. Well, I think we're gonna go same as last week. You guess me first, I'll guess you second, since this is something you're more into.
Okay. For the record, I know I got every single one of these wrong.
I'd be very shocked if you somehow got all of them wrong.
For number 10, I put Prometheus.
That is incorrect, so there's that. But no, my number 10 was the name giving of Athens.
Oh, see, I didn't put that.
Like how it got its name from Athena and whatnot. That's about it. I needed a number 10. Once I realized that I had the same one on. This is the one where I had the same one on here twice, and I just really needed to pick something to fit the number 10 spot.
God.
That was my number 10. But my guess for year 10 was the Curse of Erysichthon. Erysichthon. I have no idea how that's pronounced.
Okay.
Erysichthon. That one is one that I came across when I was looking up these things. Where is it at here? Actually, it might have been here. There was one where it was like, I think it was one about the tree. Right where, yeah. A nobleman ends up dying as a beggar after destructing nature for his own needs. It all started when he visited the sacred grove of Demeter and started cutting down a tree that belonged to the nymphs. The goddess saw him, transformed herself into a woman. Mortal woman rushed to the grove to warn him against cutting the trees. Whoever threatened to kill her with his axe, and then what he did not know is he had just committed hybris, and then cursed him with the punishment of limos, a type of hunger that cannot be satiated. So he spent all of his money to satisfy his hunger and ended up becoming a beggar. He was forever starving.
No, actually, that was not. I was like really confused about what myth that was.
I've never heard of it before, but
I have
needed
not
to spice
actually.
this up.
No, mine is a very basic, very known myth. It is actually the flight of Daedalus, or also better known as the story of Icarus and Daedalus. Basically, where Daedalus was tasked to build a labyrinth, and so nobody would know where, like, how to escape the labyrinth using his knowledge. He was locked up in a tower with his son Icarus. And to escape, he built himself and his son a pair of wings, and he warned his son not to fly too close to the sun,
so he
or
tries
the
to
wings would
suntan
melt.
too hard.
Yeah, he tries to suntan too hard, flies up too high, and his wings melt, and he falls down to the ground, and dies. Yeah, so that's mine.
Yeah. Okay, 0-0.
Let's see. For yours, I put the story of Odysseus is your number 9.
That is incorrect. For my number 9, the exact words I wrote was, Midas makes things stay gold, pony boy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, the Midas touch essentially was the one I had for my number 9. Simply because it was one that I knew, so it got put on the list.
You know, I'm gonna be honest, I completely forgot about that too. But when do I not forget about Tails? Damn. Okay.
Yeah. My number 9 guess for you, we're powering through this list, is the story of Atlas holding the heavens.
Ooh, no. No. My number 9. My number 9 is like the weirdest thing, and I'm gonna butcher his name, but it's the story of Oedipus Rex. And basically,
you said Greek mythology, not dinosaurs.
Shush. His name is Oedipus Rex. But anyway, he unknowingly fulfilled a prophecy by killing his father, and then he married his mother, and that fulfilled like some weird prophecy that he didn't know he was supposed to do. It was just the strangest thing. It was like, I'm gonna kill you and then marry my mom. Like, the hell?
Yeah. Alright, well, we're still at 0-0.
Okay. For number 8, for you, I put... I just basically summed it up because I forgot the title of the official myth. But it's basically where Hades kidnaps Persephone, because I feel like that would be on your list.
That is very, very interesting, but also absolutely fucking wrong. My number 8 is, again, the way I wrote it was, Icarus got toasty.
Icarus got toasty! Icarus got baked.
Yeah, Icarus got totally lit, yo.
Damn. I didn't even... Oh, man. I should have known. I should have known.
Excuse me. Well, for your number 8, I put the name Giving of Athens.
Incorrect. No. My number 8 is Pandora's Box in the legend of... I still don't know his name. Oh my god. I should have totally figured out his name.
Wait, did I... Hold up. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I keep going. I thought I fudged something real quick, but I did not.
1 second. Open Pandora's box. I just want to figure out his name because I forgot to look that up.
I'm sure it's on here somewhere. It's not on here. Why is it not on here? I literally saw that one when I was looking through stories, but I guess it's not on one of the pages I have pulled up. I thought it was. Oh wait, I got the. Here it is.
Epimetheus, that's what it is. Epimetheus. Epimetheus
Yes.
basically opens Pandora's box, and like all the sins of the world escape. And the only thing left in the bottom was hope. And I thought it was just really interesting. That's how they used to explain all the evil in the world.
Well, still 0-0.
We're on 7, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
For your 7, I put. Oh, I should put this as number 1. What the fuck was I thinking? Anyway, I put the story of Perseus defeating Medusa.
That is incorrect. I gotta. So my number 8 was, or sorry, 7. My number 7 was one that the website called it the Hauntings of Athenodorus. It's essentially, it was an old, like this one some people still believe, apparently, according to this article at least. It's not, I don't know if it's credible at all, but it was about an ancient Greek philosopher named Athenodorus, and the house that he rented is the first ever quote haunted house, like first house to be like at least on record to be documented as quote haunted in history. That was just because it's the first haunted house. All right, that's going on here. That's cool.
That's actually really interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that was a thing.
There's a whole shtick of the story on it, but I didn't. We're going pretty quick. I guess I can go ahead and read some of this. The huge mansion was in the outskirts of Athens and was offered at a suspiciously low price. Theodorus had considered himself lucky to find such a good deal and moved in immediately. Some locals tried to warn him of the paranormal phenomena that happened there after sunset. The philosopher, however, did not believe in ghosts and found these warnings amusing. It did not take long for Athenodorus to convert from skeptic to believer. It was nighttime, and the student studied philosophy in his office room when he heard heavy footsteps coming from the ground floor. The steps were becoming louder and louder, coming closer and closer to his study room. They were accompanied by the rattling noise of chains being dragged on the floor and a general sense of doom. Athenodorus kept focusing on his papers, trying to avoid looking back at the door. He could feel someone or something staring at him. Unable to manage his urge to stare at the source of his dread, his student looked back only to see the ghostly figure of a man in chains. Surprisingly, the phantom tried to catch his attention as if he wanted to communicate something important to him. Once he was able to shake his fear, Athenodorus stood up and approached the ghost. The latter then started moving towards the other part of the house as if he wanted the student to follow him. The ghost made Athenodorus go down the stairs and exit toward the courtyard, then he disappeared. The philosopher grew suspicious. Was someone murdered and buried there? The next morning, Athenodorus visited the city officials and asked them to excavate his courtyard, where what they discovered was a chained skeleton that seemed to have been buried there years ago. The bones were removed and buried according to funeral traditions of the time. As the philosopher used to tell his friends, the ghost found peace and never visited the world of the living since then. Which, for the very first ever haunted house story in history, that's not bad. I mean, this is also.
Really isn't.
I say this is also not like an official. This is just from how the website summed it up. But I'm sure it's like, if you read like the full writings, it's longer than that. But it's just a website called Hellenica.com.
It makes me wonder, though. It makes me wonder if that's where they got inspiration for the ghost in A Christmas Carol.
I don't know. But I just thought that was an interesting story, so that's why I made it on there. But my number 7 pick for you, let me find it on here so I can tell you what it is. It's not on there. Is it on this one? Nope. Sorry, I just realized I bet people can hear that when it makes that noise. Where is this? It's gotta be on here.
List.
No, well, I thought I must not have been on the right one all along, because none of the ones I'm looking for are here. Here we go. My number 7 guess for you was one called the Apple of Discord. I picked it because it had the word Discord.
So, do you know what that tale is?
I read it whenever I picked it. Unmarried for apparent reasons, Eris felt offended, arriving at the wedding house. He got the golden apple. And Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite, speaking of vanity, fueled dispute among the three. Zeus, who the apple belonged to. Paris, a mortal man, was the rightful prince of Troy, should choose. Okay, so he gave the golden apple to Aphrodite. From that day on, Aphrodite was offered counsel to Paris. She was the one that informed him of his royal blood and led him back to Troy. The rest is history. Yes, that one.
Yeah, so that's basically the legend of, like, you know, the whole Trojan War thing, how it got started. You know, when I told you that Aphrodite, gave him the love of Helen.
That's the, I said the Great Trojan War on this site that lists several myths. Great Trojan War falls immediately after that one.
Yeah, but to answer yours, wait, what number was this?
7.
7? No. It's actually not. Contrary to belief, it is not my number 7. Interestingly enough, my number 7 is the one thing I absolutely hate more than anything in the world. My number 7 is actually, the Legend of the Curse of Acne, or Arachne, that's how you say it. Basically, it was like this mortal girl who decided
That's
that
a spider girl,
could,
right?
It is, that she could beat Athena in a weaving contest and like got really cocky and everything.
Oh,
and when
yeah.
she won, she got like super, super cocky, so Athena turned her into a giant spider.
I forgot about that one. Like when you said it, I was like, isn't it Arachne like a spider girl or something? And then like you said the weaving contest, and I was like, oh yeah, I did know that one. I forgot all about that one. That was one I used to know back in the day, but I forgot all about it.
Yeah, so I thought that one was a pretty interesting tale.
Still 0-0.
This is not good. This is not good. Wait, no, this is amazing. This is perfect. Let's leave it like this. I had to think about that for a minute. You're number 6, and I'm hoping it's not on there, but I have a feeling it is. Your number 6 is Hercules and the 12 Labors.
That almost did make it on there, but I didn't feel like figuring out what to drop off for it, so I didn't put it on here. I would have taken number 10 because I thought about it after. I already put the naming of Athens, but I was like, it's already done. I'm leaving it. So that would have been on here, but I tell you it is not. My number 6 was that, in my words, Curse of Longword. The one that I guessed for you, number 10, about the dude cutting down the tree and getting cursed to starve.
Oh, yeah.
Because fuck that guy. That's the reason. My number 6 for you was the Midas Touch.
Incorrect. My number 6 is actually also another transformation. It's actually the transformation of Daphne. So Daphne was basically being chased by Apollo, and she didn't want to like his advances or anything like that. So she transformed into a L'Oreal tree and was cursed to stay as a L'Oreal tree for the rest of her life.
Interesting. Still 0-0 for now.
For your number 5.
If you get this one right, I'll be very surprised. Because I had no idea this existed.
Oh, then I definitely did not get it right. So to go in with the Icarus mythology, I put the myth of the Minotaur.
That is incorrect. This one, I saw the name and I was like, this has to be on here because I've never heard of this and it sounds awesome, or it sounds just really, really weird. So I had to read it, and that made my number 5 spot, which is the mermaid sister of Alexander the Great.
What?
Yeah, it's a quote. It roots back to the Hellenistic years of mermaid Thessaloniki. Second, her name was given the second historic rather than any mythological person. She was the daughter of King Philip II of Macedon and sister of Alexander the Great. There's a legend about her that non-Greeks rarely know. According to the story, Thessaloniki was offered a flask filled with water from the Fountain of Youth by her brother Alexander. After washing her hair with it, she became immortal. However, the princess soon attempted to end her own life by falling into the waters of the northern Aegean Sea. She had just learned that her beloved brother had died and wanted to meet him in the afterlife. Since she had just washed her hair with the miraculous water, her body did not shut down. Instead, it adapted into the marine environment, and Thessaloniki grew a tail and was able to breathe under the sea, and was basically a mermaid, known then as a Yoriona or Gorgona in Greek. Explorers of the seas used to fear her, since rumor had it that she would attack anyone who would tell her that Alexander is no longer alive. But I read that title and I was like, that's so stupid and amazing. That's gotta be on here. I had never heard of that one before. But
I genuinely have not either. That's pretty interesting. I actually, that's a really interesting tale.
yeah. But funnily enough, my number 5 guess for you, I just wrote Apollo and Daphne. So, unfortunately, we got points on the board. But, we're only halfway through the list. So.
I'm not talking to you anymore. We're done. This
What?
is it.
What?
I'm sorry, guys. We're breaking up the podcast. The podcast is no more.
What happened?
You put a point on the board is what happened. I was perfectly content with us being at 0.
Yeah, I was too, but I didn't think it would actually happen. I'm just hoping that, like, there's still plenty of room to tie. I've only got 2 points. Because I got 2 points for being one off on Apollo and Daphne.
Yeah, you got 2. I just realized it was not even just 1 point, it was 2 points.
Yeah.
No, that is false. Falsehood. My number 4. No, my number
5.
5, yeah. Okay, sorry. There's a lot of words in each of mine, so I have to like really read it to make sure I'm like looking at the right one. So my number 5 was actually the tale of Dionysus and Hermes. So basically, when Dionysus was just a baby, Hera got really mad and she was gonna do something to Dionysus, which I can't remember exactly what it was. But Hermes had to come and rescue Dionysus as a baby from Hera's wrath. I know it's very vague, but I didn't think to look up the myth of it.
Yeah, that's. I think we're in a. There's points on the board, but which isn't exactly a good thing, but as of right now. But we don't know if you're gonna get some here toward the end or not. So.
Right.
What was your guess for my number 4?
So for your number 4, I put the myth of the creation of the entire world.
That is incorrect. I forget if you said this one or not for me. My number 4 was the tale of Perseus and Medusa.
Yeah.
You did put that one?
I did.
Okay, I thought I might have heard it, but I couldn't remember if it was on your list or mine.
It was number 7.
Okay, so it's 2-1. So we're only 1 point off from each other now. Funnily enough, though, my guess for your number 4 was Perseus and Medusa.
Incorrect.
Okay.
Absolutely correct. No. So my number 4 was. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. 1 second. I should have had this open, but I wanted to talk about this one for a second.
All right.
Where is it? So basically, the number 4 that I had was the curse of Atreus. I think is how you say his name. It's the curse of Atreus, and the disasters that fell his entire bloodline, like his descendants. Because he did something, and I'm gonna see what it was exactly that he did. So people say that the curse was initiated because Atreus did a very heinous act. Atreus was king of something somewhere. I don't know what that word is. His family line was already marked with tragedy and violence. His father had murdered a charioteer, leading to the curse on the house. However, the most significant and well-known events took place during Atreus' own reign. The curse began with Atreus' brother having an affair with Atreus' wife. Oh, that's what it was. Let's see here. Okay, so that's exactly what happened. So basically Atreus' brother had an affair with Atreus' wife. And as revenge, Atreus killed his brother's sons, butchered them, had them cooked into food, and then fed it to his brother.
God.
So as punishment,
Anger issues much?
Yeah. So as punishment, he was cursed, and all his descendants were cursed. And it led to a lot of violence and tragedies.
I mean, adultery is a very serious thing, but don't you think murdering, dicing up, and cooking his children is a bit too far? What did his kids do?
A little bit.
Cook him up and feed him to his children. How about that?
I mean, I think either way, it's still pretty bad.
Yeah, but at least the guy deserves it. The kids didn't do shit.
I mean, that's true. That's true. So basically, Atreus' sons caused a lot of issues. So there was a lot of violence that went down through the thing. Atreus is also the father of how do you say his name? Agamemnon or Agamon or something. I don't know how to exactly say that.
The best Digimon?
Yeah, Agumon. Yeah, totally. No, the guy that was married to Helen and who started the whole Trojan War, and his brother backed him up and they went to fight against Troy. So that was actually his sons. But the curse. Let's see here.
I think that motorcycle that just drove by picked up on the recording. Might have been my neighbor's bike. I don't know. There's some motorcycle, and I saw that my volume levels are almost up to yours on that motorcycle.
Jeez.
Damn. Sorry, keep going.
No, you're good. I was just reading the rest of this. So basically, it didn't matter who it was. It went through the bloodlines, and they became very violent and driven mad by urges of revenge. Due to this curse that was on them. Their great grandkids were driven to violence and killed their mother. It was just so many weird things have happened. Anyway, so yeah, so I thought that the curse of Atreus was a pretty interesting thing. We're on 4, right? No, we're on.
You're guessing my number 3 now.
I'm getting so lost. There's just so many words everywhere. Funnily enough, For your number 3, I just put like the whole myth of like the sirens in general.
The sirens, you said?
Yeah, like the mermaids, like the singing. I'm gonna sing and drown you.
Gotcha. Well, that is incorrect. What I wrote was the one guy playing the song for his dead wife to get her back, which was Orpheus. You reminded me earlier.
Yeah, Orpheus. I totally didn't put that fucking down.
That one. Also, that one gets bonus points because the main character in Persona 3's primary persona is named Orpheus and named after the god, and is a person holding a, I believe it's a harp. Which is it's meant to be a tribute to the Orpheus story.
That's actually pretty cool.
So that it gets bonus points for being involved in one of my favorite games. Excuse me, but yeah, we talked about that one pretty extensively in the last episode, so not really much reason to go super in depth with it here. But essentially, man's wife dies. The dude starts playing a song, gets into the underworld for free. And Hades gives him his wife back, but he's not allowed to look back to see her, or she gets sent back. And then he looks back to see her right before he leaves the underworld. So then she gets dragged. He watches her get dragged back into the depths of hell. To put it simply.
Yeah, that's like a very quick sum up
yeah.
of it.
If you want to hear more extensively, listen to the last episode. We talked about it for quite a long time there. That one with
really did. That's actually funny.
That was like our primary one for that episode.
Okay.
But
so let's hear your guess for me.
2-1. I need you to catch up with 1 point because I'm really I'm not earning any big points here, but I am earning a point because my number 3 was Icarus.
Damn it.
So it is 3-1.
Damn it, Jesse. No. So I kind of broke this up into two separate things. Kind of, sort of. We'll see. I don't know. So this one's basically just the story of Narcissus. He fell in love with his own reflection, and so basically he just like starves to death. That's where like the term he's a narcissist, it comes from his tale where he fell in love with
his own reflection. Yeah, I remember that one.
So let's see, your number 2. I thought this was pretty interesting. I don't know if you even know this myth, but I thought it was like a really cool myth to just include, just for why not. This myth is actually about a guy named Pygmalion and how he fell in love with a statue that he created. So he begged the gods to bring it to life.
Interesting. But that is not correct. We're doing our number 2s, is that right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what our chances are of getting a tie.
Slim to none.
What ones have you guessed for me so far?
I have guessed for you Prometheus, Odysseus, Hades.
Wait, Odysseus? Wasn't that was the last one, wasn't it? That I picked?
No, that's what you guessed for me.
No, I guessed Icarus for you my number 3 was the one guy playing the song for his dead wife to get her back. Isn't that no, that's Orpheus. Never mind, sorry.
Yeah, that's
I got Odysseus and Orpheus backwards. Dang it. I got so excited. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's Prometheus, Odysseus, in the Tale of the Odyssey. Hades kidnaps Persephone, Medusa and Perseus, Hercules' 12 labors, the myth of the Minotaur, the creation of the world, the sirens, and now Pygmalion and Galatea.
Well, that one is not correct, but you do earn a point, because my number 2 was Persephone and Hades. It really comes down to whether Well, actually, it comes down to whether either of us got the number one right or off by one.
No, this comes down
Because
to
it is currently
um
3-2.
oh
Or if your number one guess for me was somewhere else on my list. I guess that's also a possibility. Or that my number one
yeah.
was somewhere else on your guest list. Or if,
I
anything like
feel
that. Who scored?
like you're
We could be off by
definitely
one.
winning.
I
feel
really
like you're
hope
about to
I'm.
definitely win.
I really hope I'm not. I really want to tie so bad. But Persephone and Hades, argument could be made that it's my favorite because it's the one that I've known the longest. One I liked a lot when I was younger. Number one just has I guess just as I thought would be more interesting to put as number one. But Persephone and Hades, that was another story we talked about a lot last episode. That was one of my favorites growing up, in terms of the story. So, yeah. Well, my number two. I almost said number one guess for you. My number two guess for you. Yeah, I'm so stressed. Like, I want a tie so bad. I'm so worried that I'm gonna get it wrong. But my number two guess for you was Pandora's Box, which I think you said earlier.
That was my number 8.
So I'm up to 4.
Which means I have to get like this one right, and I have to get another one right. No, I actually just have to get this one right. Right? No. Yes. No. That would still put me in lead. Fuck. Either I win it or I lose it. That's the only option.
Yeah.
No. Wait, hold on. You said my number 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So my number 2 was Hercules and the 12 Labors. And I don't really like that sound, so I'm gonna feel like you need to put that in my number 1. No, Hercules and the 12 Labors. It's really interesting because there's a few different tales of Hercules, how the whole 12 Labors got started. But my favorite version is the version where Hercules marries Meg.
From Family Guy?
Yeah, from Family Guy. He marries Meg. Hera does not like Hercules because again he's the product of one of Zeus's affairs. She doesn't really like any of his children. But specifically hates Hercules a lot more. So she decides to curse Hercules into going mad. So he goes mad and murders his wife and all his children right in the streets, and basically punishes him for like murdering them, and tasks him with like says she'll forgive him if he like completes 12 insanely difficult and pretty much impossible labors, which he then proceeds to go and do these 12 labors. So that's my favorite version of it.
Random other thing with Hercules and Meg getting married. I just like the idea of at their wedding they're like, do you, Meg, take Hercules to be your lawfully wedded husband or whatever? And she's just like, no chance, no way. I would say.
Oh my god. Just breaks out into Disney.
But she says, I won't say I do instead.
Oh my god.
Uh, oh, this is so stressful. I was like, every episode that proceeds, it was not getting a tie. I'm gonna be more stressed out about it. What was your guess for my number 1?
For your number 1, I put the story of the Cyclops and Odysseus.
Oh, I forgot about that story. But, no, that was not my number 1. Though, Yeah, well, yes, that is not my number one. But my number one, I can't. Okay, before I say my number one, I just want to let you know I honestly had never heard of this before until I looked it up. But apparently you had, because my number one was Pygmalion and the statue.
No, no way.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
like
God.
I had never heard like why I said it was what I said earlier about how it being something just kind of specific was just because like it was like it's one of those that like makes total sense as a Greek myth, but also it's just kind of stupid, like falling in love with a piece of marble, but like also being that kind of desperate. There's some level of comedy to that as well, on top of everything else. Like
Yeah.
when I read the story, I remember I was laughing. Like he kissed his ivory statue and found that its lips felt warm. He kissed it again and found that the ivory had lost its hardness. like, like this is the goofiest thing I've ever that I've just ever heard of. I was so like I was like, what the fuck? This is amazing. It's more of an ironic number one pick. Like in terms of like actually enjoying the full on story, I would probably still say Persephone and Hades, but the but yeah, that one was just it was weird. But but I'm actually feeling good about getting a draw because I will be very surprised if you actually have this as your number one. Um, I don't know what the name of this one was. So what I wrote was Lita gets down and dirty with a swan.
Huh.
If that is your number one, I'll be very
Jesse.
surprised. Is that actually your number
Jesse.
one?
No,
Oh.
it's not. Oh my God. No. So going back to what I was saying earlier.
I thought you were gonna
Um,
be like, "How'd you get it perfectly?" I was gonna be like, "Are you kidding? I picked this one because it was stupid." It's one where like
no.
Zeus sees a woman. I think it's pronounced Leda. Or it might be Leda. Leda. And he like Zeus turns into a swan and seduces her, and like he sleeps with her as a swan.
He's done that as a bull before, so I wouldn't be surprised.
This is just when I was looking at. I was honestly when I was trying to make my list. I was trying to like for that. What was the curse of Erysichthon, or whatever that fuck that is called. I was trying to find some obscure ones that I knew you would get wrong to increase my likelihood of not losing. And this was one that I was like, this is so stupid. I'm gonna put this as number one because it'd be hilarious if it was right.
So this goes back to the story of
We just have to hope that your number one isn't something I already guessed.
No, it's 100% not. So no, my number one is also tied into the narcissist story, which is why I said it's like I'm kind of splitting this into two, because something did happen before this came to fruition. Anyway, my number one is the Greek myth of Echo. Basically her part of it before like she ever fell in love with Narcissus was that what the fuck?
What the fuck? Oh, it's the story of Echo, so I'm just adding to the environment.
Okay, sorry. I was hearing myself echo, and I was like, "Did I accidentally hit like voice mod or something?"
I was like covering my mouth and like whispering it into the mic.
No, I legit thought I hit a button because I have my keyboard hotkey for voice mod. I was like, "Did I just like click something on accident?"
No, I was
Anyway.
echoing until you noticed.
Thanks, Jesse. No, so it's basically the story of Echo, and she was like this mortal woman who Zeus wanted to have an affair with. So he went to go talk to her. Um, Hera, obviously being jealous, went to go kind of like stop it, to drag Zeus back. But she found that Echo was so annoying, that like, she would just like continuously talk, like she wouldn't shut up, basically. That Hera cursed her to only be able to repeat the last thing that she hears for like all eternity.
Hopefully, her neighbors didn't have thin walls. That'd be pretty embarrassing to hear. It's the first thing you hear before you go into work.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting because she then also fell in love with like Narcissus, and basically couldn't talk to him because of her Echo situation. And then so that's when I think she was actually the one that cursed Narcissus to fall in love with his own reflection. I can't remember exactly who cursed him. But anyway, both stories tie in together. But Jesse, you know what this means, right?
It means our score is 4-4.
It is 4-4. Today's finally the day.
I can't believe, like, originally I actually had Pandora's Box as your number one, so I guess that wouldn't have actually mattered. But as I said, I was looking up like just some obscure ones. That's where I found the Curse of Erythea, where I found the Mermaid Sister of Alexander the Great, and the Hauntings of Athenodorus. So I found all of those ones, and I saw. I don't even think it was a myth site. I forget where it was. I saw the or where I originally at least saw the Swan one. I was like, I feel like this way I know I most likely won't get your number one right and won't get 3 points, because I feel like I would like I really felt like Pandora's Box was gonna be your number one, so I did that as a safety, so it would earn me fewer points. But yeah, so we scored 4-4. I can't believe that actually finally happened. Like, I'm just really glad that the changes I made before we started recording, I did, otherwise we wouldn't be tied right now.
I know, it's really hard to believe we actually finally tied.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for this for how many episodes now?
Several. Since episode like 5 or 6, and we're on episode like what, 14? Something like that. But so now we get to finally reveal what our tie means, what we're doing for it. So a very specific fan base is going to be really excited. Everybody else is going to be really underwhelmed. But for those of y'all who don't know, throughout me and Whitney's friendship, there's been some things that one of us likes that the other person likes as well. But there's only one thing that we both love equally. Like there's, say, Pokemon, for example. We both like Pokemon, but I'm a little more invested into it. Or say like Phasmophobia, the game. We both like it, but you're a little more into that one. Or survival games in general.
Yeah.
And things like that. There are just some things that one of us is more invested in the other. This is the one thing that we both really, really love, and could talk about for several episodes. So our thing for a tie is you're going to take every movie from the Walt Disney Animation Studios library and rank it from worst to best over the course of multiple episodes, and each episode will happen whenever we tie on the previous episode.
Watch us only get one episode, and then it's like never ties again.
Yeah, we get through the first episode, then we never tie again. As of right now, I believe there are 61 movies. So we'll go in increments of 10 for it. But the first one will go from 61 to 51. So like it'll be 11 on the first one. Hopefully we can get this all finished before Wish comes out, because then we could like just talk about that whenever that movie comes out and where we would place it if we can get through this list before then. We have till November. So I hope we can get through there. This one is one that's so spaced out. I could see us having full episodes where we score 0 apiece and do 2 episodes in a row because there are so many options. But
That's true. That's true. I didn't think
we're
about that.
just and another what she was talking about earlier, which is that we were making a change to it, like a new thing we added to it. Our plan, as of right now, at least, is for these episodes to be live. They will be live streamed and on YouTube. Unless you also want, if you want to stream, we can have it where I stream it on YouTube and you stream it on Twitch if you want.
Yeah.
So that way people can watch on either one, and we could both have an individual platform to stream it on. So if you're listening to this on like Spotify or another audio-based thing, you'll definitely want to, and it will still come out on schedule for that day, for the regular day, but it'll be live streamed early, on YouTube and Twitch. So you can hear early there, because this is something that I've actually already got my list completely made. I have a few movies that I'm going to rewatch to find out if I want to modify where they're at on the list or not. If I was a little too harsh on some movies, or or if I like movies a lot more than I thought I did, one way or the other, to determine the final placements. But I still have to guess hers, so I haven't made yours in order yet.
I haven't made either, so.
Yeah, mine is completely done. Mine's been done for like a couple months now. Like basically since like right after this show started. Like right when he came up with the idea, the next day I assembled this list. So
yes, but there's one other change.
what was that? I don't remember.
The drink list.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was gonna be drinking while we do it. With Disney themed drinks that Whitney found. I forgot about that part.
Yes. The first one I might not be able to drink one because it's just like I wasn't expecting us to tie anytime soon. I'm gonna be honest.
We actually just talked about this like a few days ago. At the time of recording. So.
And looking at the drink list, there's like so many different like ingredients that you need. It's not just like the basic all of them's like this.
So we could always just drink something random.
That's true.
Just have it be just a regular drinking episode. But
no, this first one we were talking about drinking some wine.
Oh yeah.
I can do that. Yeah.
I
get one.
So this'll, for those if people don't know like what I mean when I say Walt Disney Animation Studios, this does not include Pixar, or any of those like straight to DVD sequels, or there were a couple theatrically released ones, done by Disney Toon is the name of the studio. So like this is just pure Walt Disney Animation Studios, from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs up to Strange World is the most recent one. So no, like Cinderella 2 and 3, no Return to Neverland. Those are a different studio. Maybe we'll do those one day. No Pixar, so no Toy Story, no Monsters Inc., no Up, no WALL-E, Finding Nemo, Incredibles. Those will be later on. We may go after those once we get through the Disney one. This is just the 61 main Disney or primary Disney Animation Studio movies, from Snow White, Bambi, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Jungle Book, Tarzan, Frozen, Tangled, Moana, Encanto, Lilo and Stitch.
I honestly cannot wait.
I'm very excited that we're finally going to be able to do this. This is gonna be a fun one. I will say I'll probably repeat this at the start of the episode. The first episode is the only one I think that I'll say I definitively actually dislike any of the movies. The other ones I just are like okay, or just not as good as the ones above them. But the first episode will have some that I actively dislike. And it's not because I hate Disney, it's just they're at the very bottom of the list. As things go on, you'll see the ones that I absolutely love as we proceed. Just getting that out of the way. For any big Disney fans, they see me talking shit on the first half of the first episode, it's because they're the very bottom of the list, bottom of the barrel. But
Yes. Unfortunately, when you make a list, there has to be some sacrifice.
it's not a top 10, it's a rank worst to best. So that implies that there's a worst in the first place. Well, I will say I enjoy most movies from Walt Disney Animation Studios. I do not enjoy all of them. There are a few that I actively dislike. Not perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Talk about yourself, man.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm nowhere near perfect. I'm like the worst. The worst.
Disney has its bad movies, just like Pixar has Cars 2. It's just it's just a thing.
Okay, it's not just Cars 2, it's like the newer Cars as well. Like there's like what, 3 movies now? So I think that
Cars 3 I didn't think Cars 3 was very good, but I didn't hate it either. Whereas I was actively annoyed by Cars 2 the whole time I was watching it. Cars 3 I was just kind of indifferent towards. Sure, it wasn't very good, but it wasn't horrible. Whereas I really did not like Cars 2.
I absolutely hated Cars 3.
I like the thing. Maybe I think the primary reason I didn't hate Cars 3 is because Mater wasn't the main character anymore. Thank God.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He was so
that
fucking annoying in Cars 2. But yeah, so every studio has its Toy Story, its Finding Nemo, its Incredibles, but they've also got their Cars, the Cars franchise. There's just some that aren't as good as the others. That's just how it is. But we both absolutely love most of the movies from that studio. So it was a very tough list to make, but I'm gonna tweak it a little bit. But yeah. So I guess stay tuned to our YouTube or Twitch channels for updates on when the live stream is going to be. We haven't finalized the date yet because we didn't realize it was going to be this soon, because we literally just came up with the live idea earlier today. It was Whitney's idea. Literally this morning, so we didn't expect it to happen this episode. So yeah, I think we've dragged this out long enough. I've been talking about our draw topic for about 12 minutes now, so
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening or watching if you're looking at the Stupidiots thumbnail on YouTube the whole time you're watching it. And we'll catch you guys next time with the first ever live episode of Stupidiots. And when we start talking about our Disney fanness. So thank you guys for listening. Catch you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.